Good morning, mathematicians. I hope that you're all doing well and settling into your isolation setups nice and smoothly. Today we are going to be starting our new project and we're really excited to be doing that with you, even though it's remote, and we're looking forward to seeing lots of really good work coming through. So what we're going to start with, you might remember from the start of term that Miss Piper mentioned that this project is going to be called Squarea. And you can see that is kind of clues in the name. We've got square and areas. So we're going to be looking at the areas of squares, or square areas. And we've created that lovely word just for this project. But what we'd like you to do is to open your books just as usual and write today's date and this title of Squarea. So you can pause the video if you need to. And make sure that you've got those two things down. So today's date and the title, Squarea. Okay, and what you're going to see is that I've got drawn here in my book a square. And this square has an area of 16 squares. And you can see that because we can either count the squares with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 squares. Or we can use our knowledge from your other area projects where you can look at, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side and 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. Nice equal lengths, which means that this is a square. And so we can also do 4 multiplied by 4, which would give us 16. So we've got it so that it's either counting the squares or multiplying the edges to give us that area. So what I'd like you to do is to copy this square nice and neatly in your book. Do you notice that these corners are all lined up with the corners of the squares in the book? And then we can put next to it 16 as the area. So once you've finished your writing, your book should look like this, with the date, the title, and then your nice square with area 16. So pause the video if you need to, and make sure you've got that written. Okay, and once you've done that, I'm going to ask you to draw another square, and it can be any square you like, but the area has to be less than 20. So for example, I could do one here that comes down 3, and remembering it's a square, so we need to have 4 right angles and equal sides, just like we've been working on with our quadrilaterals. So here you've got another 3 here. I'm doing it with nice thick pen so you can see it on the visualizer, but you can use a pencil or a pen, preferably a pencil because that's usually neatest. Okay, so I've done 3 by 3, which means that I could either do my 3 times 3 is 9, or I can count the squares again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Lovely. Now, the only thing that I need you to make sure is that your square is definitely a square. So for example, if you drew one like this, which came down 2 on each side, and then across 3 like this. So we can see that although this one does have the 4 right angles, like we've talked about, the sides are not equal lengths. So this is not a square, and you don't need to scribble it out, but you can just put a little cross next to it, just to show that you're not going to use that one in your working. Okay, so you've already got 16 copied down. You can either copy down the 9 or you can do one of your own, so long as the area is less than 20. And you can pause the video again if you need to. Great. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to try and answer the question. This is what I'd like you to work on for the rest of the session, is can we make all the areas from 1 to 20? So you'll see I've got a bit of a checklist down here of 1 to 20. You can make a list of your own if you like, or there's a worksheet that you can use. And you can see here, we've already got 16, if you remember from the last page. So we've got 16 and I've got a 9 here. So I'm going to tick off the 16 and I'm going to tick off the 9. Okay? And I want you to really be determined, like the values, and persevere and see if you can get as many as possible from this list. Some will be a bit tricky and some you might need to be a little bit imaginative for. But so long as you are definitely working just with squares, I don't want any other quadrilaterals. Okay, so a little reminder that for squares, we need to have 4 right angles. That's 90-degree angles. And 4 equal sides. But other than that, it's up to you. And I want you just to keep trying and see how many you can get. And once you've done as many as you possibly can, I would say you want to spend about half an hour on this. Once you've spent about half an hour trying to get as many as you can, we'd like you to take a photo of your work and the full page of all your different squares and the areas that you've managed to get and upload it to Google Classrooms. And then tomorrow we'll have a look at what we've all managed to get.